Alright, so as y'all can see, it's daylight. Means I'm running super late. I have to leave early to go back to work this afternoon, which I'm not happy about at all. So that means I get a total of about 2 hours of hunting time for 4.5 hours worth of commute time, drive time. It's freaking ridiculous having to work during turkey season. But at least I get to go. 2 hours. You don't know till you go. I could walk into the woods, find a bird that wants to gobble and wants to play, and be out in 30 minutes. Hopefully that happens. But you just never know unless you go, so I'm going. But man, I am kicking myself so hard right now. So because I'm running late, I'm really running and gunning, and I haven't hunted this place in a couple of years, maybe 4 or 5 years. So going in, checking it out. It used to hold a lot of birds, and then it stopped holding birds. That's why I stopped hunting it. So we'll see. We'll see if its population is back up. Just flushed a longbeard out of a tree. He was within range. He flew towards a little field. So I'm going to go ease up to that field, see if he's in it, and if not, just kind of sit and call. And I've got just a little bit more time left before I gotta roll, so that's probably where I'll end my day. Well, that's all for me today, boys and girls. There are turkeys to be killed. Now I gotta go to work. And Derek still gets to hunt. My dad killed a nice bird this morning. And I gotta go to work. Alright, just got out of work and headed out to a state where you can now hunt in the afternoon. So I'm gonna head out for a few hours here. It's just after 3 o'clock. So I'm gonna get suited up, change out of these work clothes, and head on out. So I did just what I wanted to do. And a motorcycle drove by. Just heard him gobble again. Yes. Motorcycle drove by. He gobbled. Just heard him gobble again. He's out there ways though. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Don't know if you can hear that. But he just gobbled again. He's gobbled 6, 7 times now. There's a creek bottom in front of me. Sitting here looking at onyx. I think he's got to be that creek bottom. The problem is, this is what I got to go through to get to him. And that is some thick stuff and noisy. And there is no wind. I never get tired of doing this. So, got out of work a little bit early today, and came over here where I've been on this bird a couple times this year, and he's always been down here in this creek bottom, and every time it sounded like he had hens. He didn't want to come out of the creek bottom. He was a creek bird, and so this afternoon came in here. He was gobbling. He gobbled to a motorcycle first. I've been in here for a little bit and hadn't heard him, and then motorcycle, a street bike went by, and he gobbled to that. And so then I started slipping up on him, got up on this little hill that goes down into the creek bottom, and he came up to the edge of the hill where I was at, and it was so thick where it was. I could see him walking back and forth, strutting and carrying on, but he just wouldn't come any closer. He was maybe 45 yards from me, and I just couldn't get a clear shot. Couldn't get a shot hardly at all. Like I would see maybe just the top of his head, or I'd see just his tail fin flip up, and just enough for me to keep track of where he was at. After about 45 minutes of that, he started to move down into this creek bottom. When he got far enough away, I went after him. Got down this creek bottom. I don't know if you guys know just how deep this is, but this is one of the shallower spots here. I mean, it is wet. I am muddy up to my knees, just about, from walking around here in this creek bottom. But he took off this way. I took off after him, and just tried to stay behind him. When I'd hear him gobble up there a little ways, I'd move up another 20 yards, call. Generally, he would come back and go forward again, and he would get about 50 yards or so. And eventually I was able to get to a position where I could get up a little bit closer, and and he eventually finally found a clear spot to walk through because he wanted to try to see me. And I just sat down in this mud, man. I've been crawling around in it, and I just sat down in the mud, and all of a sudden I see him off to my left, and he starts putting at me because he had seen me just move my head when I caught movement out of the corner of my eye. And so I swung the gun barrel over there, and he was right behind a tree branch that was right across his wattles, right where you need to shoot him. And I just couldn't take that shot, and he was walking a little bit farther away, but he moved to the left. When he moved to the left, it got clear, and I had a clear shot at the whole front half of him. And I aimed a little bit lower than I normally would, just because I knew it was going to be a little bit farther of a shot. It was about 45 yards or so, but he was up underneath some trees. I was up underneath some trees, so it was hard to tell exactly how far he was, but I knew he was going to be just about 45, and I stepped off afterwards, and he was. Pulled the trigger, he went down, and there was no movement. I started flipping out a little bit inside. I don't see any flopping, just nothing. It was definitely a hashtag no flop kind of moment. And so I go around, and I have to make a big old loop to get around to where he's at, because there's a big old wet spot there that's even worse than what I've been walking through. And finally get up there, and that's when he starts flopping. You did good, son. You did good. One of the I've had a lot of memorable hunts this season, and this one kind of stands out for sure. I was on this bird for over 2 hours from the time I first heard him gobble. And I had thought earlier in this season when I found him that he was going to be an afternoon bird, and I was right. Afternoon is what did him in.